right. Who's enjoying, well, I mean, we've only had one, but who's enjoyed this learning time before discussion time? A little bit? Karen did. Kelly, awesome. And Melanie, she's like, I'm coming back. I'm going to tell you all like it. Perfect. Okay, so I get to
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. That was
good.
my.
I'm glad. Perfect. Okay, so let's hop in and then we'll have fun discussion time here a little bit. Okay, so if there's anything in particular that you guys would like covered on a leadership level, I didn't discuss this with Hannah or Karen, so this is on the fly. But either send it to one of us, post it in the chat, post it on the Facebook page, so that way we can kind of have an idea if y'all have a specific thing that you would like covered. Because as I was thinking about what I kind of wanted to go over, I was like, I don't really know. Like, we should have like a discussion topic area for y'all on the Facebook group page. Rachel, all the things. Well, if you happen to get an idea to narrow it down, let us know. But so in the last, I guess, week-ish, this topic has come up a few times, and actually I think with at least one of my leaders on this chat. So I've been doing some coaching calls, and then as our collaboration group, we're kind of redoing some of the project broadcast programs. Can't say that 5 times fast. And so I'm kind of working on some onboarding with that. And this topic kind of came up and I became really passionate about it. And so I kind of wanted to talk about thinking outside of the box because, as we all know, the last several years has forced us to constantly think outside the box. And I don't think that is ending anytime soon. I don't think we're going to go back in the box. It's not happening. So it's kind of what I wanted to talk about is kind of getting your brain on a new wavelength and allowing yourself to do that. So, for example, when we onboard, and I'm going to have y'all like participate. So get your chat fingers ready. When we onboard a new consultant, what's the first thing that we want them to do? Put it in the chat. Certify. Okay, before they certify, what do we got to get them to do? What do we always say? Announce to their friends and family that they're consultants. Good job, Vicki. What else? Add a pic to their workstation. Okay, complete their first things first. How are they going to get money? How are they going to get their PRV? Welcome them on with a party, a launch party. Yes. Okay. But then it's been so interesting to me that at events, when I'm talking to leaders one-on-one, when we're sitting there in our collaboration groups and we're chatting, all of us are sitting around going, I'm having a hard time booking parties. I cannot book a party to save my life. Why can't I book a party? Nobody wants to book a party. I booked 3 Facebook parties and nobody did anything. And yet we're having all of these brand new consultants come on and create a launch party when I'd say all of us, we're all leaders on here, are seasoned consultants and are having a hard time with that. So it got me thinking, especially with this whole onboarding system, which we'll be sharing with you guys because it's, if you use Project Broadcast, you're going to want it. But it kind of got us thinking outside the box of why are we constantly evolving and changing the way that we look at business, but when we're onboarding new consultants, it has stayed exactly the same since I started 16 years ago. Nothing has changed. And it just kind of dawned on us while we were talking about it. Let me pull up. So what we're doing now, it's kind of thinking outside the box. We're not asking them to not have a party, but instead of saying we need to set up your launch party, we need to get you started with a party, it's the same thing that we're doing with customers, but with them. Because what we're also noticing too is we have a lot of consultants joining and then they're not doing anything with it. Yeah, all of us have seen that. And so we're either not asking any questions or we're not asking the right questions. I'm trying to find my notes because we made notes in this meeting. There it is. So I think the first thing is figuring out what they want to do with their business. And are they going to do they want to do anything with the business side or just be a hobbyist? So our project broadcast will kind of reflect that. So if they just want to just be a hobbyist and just chill, we'll be sending messages on just how to take advantage of putting orders in the workstation. Right. So before it was everyone's coming on, we're going to include them all in the same messages. We're so excited to have you here, but you're not asking questions of, do you even want to do this as a business? And Scentsy sends out these amazing emails, right? Of how to use the workstation. It's part of your first things first. So let's do all these things. So as leaders, we don't need to worry about that, right? We keep it simple, but teaching them how to, use, I don't know, put in a multi-pack. I mean, some customers need help doing that when they order online. So it's important to train on that. But going back to like this party thing, because I could go on a total tangent, this whole onboarding situation. But just getting them in the idea of what we're calling social selling. So instead of if they're right out the gate, they're like, yeah, I'm going to have all these people over. That's great. But I think the majority of consultants joining right now they're not wanting to party. They're not wanting to do all the things. So just getting them to sell, six packs of wax, just share your favorite 6-pack and see who wants to order one. Simple things like that. It's thinking outside the box. So instead of and they can still set up their launch party online. They can still post on Facebook and letting people know that they are a consultant, that they can order online anytime because they get those first 3 months. But getting those first sales are the most important thing that we want them to do. It always has been. But if we're still using the words launch party, and we're not even using those words anymore. We're not using party. Get them to sell a few clean buckets or get them to, whatever you're already working on with your team. If you're challenging to do something, include those people that are wanting to create more of a business with it. And those are the things that I've been kind of working on as well, is figuring out what my people want. Right. I think Karen was kind of talking about that last week, being intentional. Are we doing income producing activities? If you're messaging your entire team, whether it's Facebook, you're using Project Broadcast, or you're doing it one-on-one, and half of them don't want updates on what's going on in Scentsy, then it's not being intentional. You're wasting that time and that energy. And if you're using Project Broadcast, you're wasting that money. Yeah, everyone's like, yeah. So that's something that I have started to refocus on. In January, I had a few leaders leave, either just for various reasons. And it forced me to become more intentional because my team size doubled. That's a lot of project broadcasts, a lot. And so I started sending out messages going, hey, are you wanting updates on what's going on? Are you just wanting to do this for fun? Because then I can even tag those people and put them in a group they're just my hobbyists. I just need to let them know when big things change. Not little things, just big things. You know, when like some of them who had come from another team member, another leader, they didn't know that the 12-month, they still thought they would terminate in 3 months. So they're like, I'm just waiting for my 3 months to run out. I was like, well, that's going to be a really long time because it's now 12 months, you know? So even just those important things, I will message them and I'll let them know, hey, brand new catalog. It'll last till August, PS, those important things. But everything else, if they don't want to know about it, then I'm not going to include them. Rachel, it's such a tough question to ask what they want from the business before they even get a sale. Lots say, I don't think I'll do well, but I'll give it a go. Usually just because they're nervous and expect to fail. Once they put their first order in and they're excited and believe in themselves is the best time to ask that question. True. And I think it depends on how you're asking the question. My question, it's that same, like, we don't have to, hey, are you going to turn this into the most amazing business ever? Because it's very intimidating. But if you're like, hey, what's the reason you joined? That's a huge open-ended question too. So if you even narrow it down to, hey, are you just wanting to do this as, to get a discount? Or are you wanting it to make a little money on the side? It doesn't have to be, I want to make $1 million on the side. I just want to make a little money, an extra $20 a month. That's fantastic. Or I don't know. I don't get my nails done. So however much it is to get your nails done a month, that's what they want to make. Right. So even just kind of figuring out and then checking in. So even with this project broadcast, it used to be this set it and forget it. And instead it's asking these questions throughout, like, how's it going? It's usually because I persuaded them, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine too. Sometimes it is, and sometimes they can take off, and sometimes they're like, no, I've just decided I want to do this as a discount, and that's great. And I've had consultants that after 5 years decided that after just doing it as a discount that they wanted more out of it. So it's not that you're writing them off. It's just they're not wanting that information right now. But you're always like, hey, if you have anything, let me know. I'll keep checking in. And you can do check-ins, but it doesn't have to be every month or every other week when you're letting them know, because their brain is not ready for that information right now. Their season of life is not ready for that. I mean, as leaders, how many times have we been in a season where it's like, nope, I'm not selling all of those spends. Can't do it. Like, I'm not taking pre-orders right now because this week's not a good week. This month is not a good month. We kind of stay in the know because we're leaders, but same with consultants. If they're like, I kind of want to do this on the side, I want to make it work, but I'm also super overwhelmed with life. They're like, no, I just got to do it a little bit right now. And then maybe at some point it'll grow. And same opposite. We might have someone who joins who's straight out the gate, so excited, does $1,000, party in the first month. It's fantastic. And then 6 months from now, all of a sudden they plummet. And you're like, no, what happened? You were going to be my next leader. It's the same. And so no matter what, you're there being intentional, checking in, and being, I say this word a lot, but it's really being really intentional with the words that you're saying. It's not just like, hey, I'm checking in, how's it going? Because I don't know about you, but when someone like messages me, hey, just checking in, how's it going? I don't feel like they really care. I feel like they're doing it out of, because they have to. Now, maybe I'm just a little too cynical sometimes, and that's also true. But really going, hey, I've been thinking about you. How's it going? The message I sent because I had a lot of new people that I had to, and I will say I've not always been very good at checking in with my people. I'm going to throw that out there, but that is part of one of my things that I want to work on this year. So the project broadcast I sent was like my goal this year, which I did say the word is check in. My goal this year is to check in and be more present with members on my Scentsy team. So I'm just letting them know it's my goal. Clearly, I haven't been very good at it in the past. Don't worry, it will just be a simple check in or some quick info. Is this something you're interested in? So they don't have to like commit, like, I'm so excited to check in with you every single month. It's just like, hey, are you open to this? How you feel? And some people are like, I guess, or what does this entail? And some were like, no, I only want to do it, for my discount. Some were like, yes, I've been needing this. Let's see, Sarah, I've got a lot of girls ignoring every project broadcast message I send. And then they pop out of the woodwork and ask me when we got flowers and all-purpose cleaner. That's pretty much it. It's pretty much it, right? Yeah. So that's where I think just asking our people, even now, if you want to be a little bit more intentional and be like, hey, do you want, because I plan on doing like a monthly, at the beginning of the month, sending like the planning ahead, because then they have a little a snapshot of what's coming. And then halfway through the month, if something exciting is coming or whatever, because there's LTOs that have launched that maybe we didn't know about. So it's like, hey, these are the LTOs that have launched and are coming. Check it. Don't forget. Because we even talked about this as leaders in the club that I personally dislike. I don't mind people obviously going to the news tab, but sometimes it's overwhelming even for me. So I'm like, don't forget, you can go on our Facebook group page at any time and see all this information. So putting it all in one place, kind of creating a Canva. So I have a Canva landing page newsletter for my customers, but I'm going to create the same one for our team. So anytime they can go click on it and go, this is what's happening. This is what's coming. This is what has come. And then just keep it really simple and easy. Because if sometimes we're having a hard time, can you imagine what they're working with? Like, I can't imagine joining now. I'd feel really overwhelmed. And, I'd probably quit too. I'm just going to be real honest. Like, a lot of things overwhelm me really fast. And then I just quit. Like my taxes, I just put them off because I'm like, it's too hard. It's too much. I can't handle it. Like registering for baseball, I'm like, this is very overwhelming because I have to find the birth certificate and then I have to scan it and it's a lot. And then I'm like, I just put it off until the last minute. That's why we procrastinate, because it's hard and it's overwhelming. So the easier we make it, and it's not spoon feeding, just helping, because it's all a lot. Okay, so other things that we can kind of think outside the box. Even our team challenges, you don't have to spend money to give a challenge. That's if you feel like you have to give some type of a reward. Now you can if you want, but you don't have to. And you can do that. Maybe you do a reward like once a quarter, but sometimes just throwing up, let's see how many of these we can sell. How many clean buckets can you sell? I never said there was a reward. Your reward is your paycheck, but I'm not going to put that there. But kind of thinking outside the box. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget to even share some of the things that I'm doing. So for example, last week when the clean bucket kind of thing was popping up everywhere, I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. And so then what I did is anyone who commented and said that they wanted one, I private messaged them, what scent do you want? Perfect. This is your total. Also, if you share my Facebook post and you get 10 orders, you get your cleaning bucket for free. And so for some, it almost got them to a party, and for some it didn't. But I got quite a few new customers from that. And I got more orders, more PRV, just because I asked them to share it. They didn't know that I'm like, oh, if they sell 10, that's a party. They didn't know that. But they were like, yeah, I can do that. I can share that. And they did. And it was great. And now I have like 4 new customers in my new area that weren't ordering from me before. So even telling your people, hey, here's a challenge, but every person who orders and comments, have them share it. So it's just even thinking outside the box like that. And then sometimes we're like, now some people are doing parties. If you're still able to get people in front of you and you're able to grow like that, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you're having a hard time with any of these things, just know that there's other ways that you can grow your people. You know, having people share that post, getting your team to do the same thing, sharing, just like with anything, sharing Scentsy in the way that you're using it instead of only posting pictures. You know, I love Maggie Hensley has always been the best example to me because almost every day she's getting up and she's using her Scentsy Fresh, spraying her bed, spraying everything, putting in new wax, putting in, you know, all the things. It's not just like buy all my stuff. She's sharing that she's using it. Because if you're not using the product, then you should probably start and then show people that you're using it. And then another great way, if some people like doing shows, some people do not. I have been in many different areas of life. Right now, shows are not my thing. I got too many kids and too many things going on. And so it's really hard for me to get away, but I love doing fundraisers. It's a great way to give back. And then it's a great way to get more people. So talking about different fundraisers, getting your team involved, letting them know what can happen when you host a fundraiser. Yeah, Rachel, I love the 6-packs. Yeah. Create any fun thing. And when people are like, oh, I want that. Oh, well, if you share it, right now it's great. We still have 10% off through the rest of the month. You'll find something, post, or even go back. If you already made a post like the clean bundle, I think someone came up with a laundry bundle. I don't know, there's lots of bundles and fun things that you can share. Go back and find all the people that commented and say, hey, by the way, if you share this, you get this for free. And then the last thing I will say, and then we'll have fun with our discussion time, is anything that you kind of create now and the systems that you're working on or you're wanting to work on, give it 6 months, tweak it along the way. And if you're like, man, this isn't working either, just keep tweaking it, keep trying to find different ideas, collaborate with other people. You know, even some, I know for me, talking out loud, sometimes talking inside my head works, but most of the time, like I come up with great ideas even while I'm Marco Poloing someone else. So they're not talking back to me, but I'm talking out loud, like, yeah, I think I might do this, but I might do that. And then all of a sudden the answer comes. So even just talking it out and going, I really want to do this, but I don't know how to get from, you know, A to F. So how am I going to do that? I really want to create a bundle. I really want to do this, but I don't know how to do the math and how to break it down and how many people I'm going to need. You know, find any leader in here, ask on our leaders page. But any ideas that y'all come up with, share them with us. Sometimes it's hard really thinking outside the box. It's like really hard. So if you need help or you came up with a great idea, share it. And let's see how much we can think outside the box. So I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna end this recording. Thank you for listening.